All right, in this lesson we're going to learn about circles and some of the basic parts of circles and how to find the circumference or the distance around the outside of a circle. All right, so the first set of definitions that we need to copy into our notes are we need to know what a radius is. A radius is a segment that has endpoints at the center and the outside part of the circle. All right, so the radius always begins in the center and goes to the outside edge of the circle. So CE is a radius, CF is a radius, and CD is a radius. All right, the plural of radius is radii. All right, a chord is a segment that just has endpoints on the circle. All right, so it does not necessarily go through the middle of the circle. All right, so AB is a chord, and DE is a chord because both AB and DE both have both endpoints on the outside of the circle. Now, DE is a special kind of chord that goes through the center, and that's called the diameter. The diameter is a chord that goes through the center and has endpoints on either end on this outside of the circle. All right. So pause the video and copy these definitions into your notes. All right, some more notes for you. So the radius and the diameter relationships, basically remember the radius goes from the center of the circle to the outside edge. The diameter goes all the way through the center. So the diameter is simply 2 times the radius. The diameter is twice the radius. On the other hand, the radius is half the diameter. All right? So that's just all common sense type stuff there. All right, so circle pairs, if you have circles that interact with each other, okay, 2 circles are congruent if and only if they have congruent radii. So if the radius of 2 circles are congruent, then that means the circles are congruent. All right, all circles are similar, and concentric circles are 2 circles that have the same center, concentric. All right, 2 circles. So you have circle A that has a radius of AB, and you also have a circle A with a radius of AC. There's two total different circles there. Okay, so pause the video and copy these notes into your notebook. And then the last set of notes that you need to copy into your notebook before we start doing lessons or start doing examples is the formula to find the circumference of a circle. To find the circumference, you either can take pi times the diameter, or because of the relationship between diameter and the radius, you can say circumference is equal to 2 times, well, pi times the diameter is what we just said, the diameter, but you know that the radius is radius is 2 times the diameter. So we have pi times 2 times the radius, or if you rearrange it, that would be 2 times pi times the radius. Okay, so that's what we have here. Pi, the circumference is 2 times pi times the radius. All right. So depending which formula you use, just depends on if you're given the diameter or if you're given a radius. All right. So in this case, it says name the circle. Well, the circle is always named by its center. So this would be circle O. All right. Then it says name the radii. You notice it says radii, that means more than one. So we have OA from here to here. We have OB from here to here. We have OD, and we have OC. Okay, so a circle has an unlimited number of radii, but in this case, we're given 4 radii. And then it says name the chords. Remember, a chord goes from one side of the circle to the other. So this would be AB, that's the diameter, goes from here to here. And then the other chord is CD. All right? That's the other chord. And that does not go through the center. All right? Now it says if RY is 10 inches, so RY is 10 inches, find AR and AB. Well, AR, remember all of the radii are all congruent to each other. So AR is going to be 10. Okay, so this is going to be 10. Then it says AB, that's the diameter. Okay, that's the diameter, and we know that the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. Well, which would be 2 times 10, which is equal to 20. All right, so AB is 20. Now, it says if AB is if the diameter is 18, if AB is 18, then find AR. Well, this is the diameter. Okay, AR is a radius, is equal to 1/2 of the diameter. Okay, and so half of 18 is equal to 9. So AR is equal to 9. All right, in this one, it says the diameter of circle F is 5, and the diameter of circle G is 6. All right, so the diameter, circle F, that's a smaller one. So from A to G is 5. All right, so from A to G is 5. So, and from B to C, circle G, is 6. Okay? It says find the measures of BF. All right? BF is just this little part right in here. Okay? Well, so one of the things that we can notice here is that this little part here, this part right in here, overlaps with both circles. All right? So if A to G, if A to G is 5, that means F to G is 2.5, or half of that. All right? So that's 2.5. Now we also know that, and I'm using a different color here, from B to C is 6. That means this part here is 3, or half of that. All right? So when we look at that, this little section right from here to here is covered in both circles. Okay? We're not looking for that. We're just looking for this small section here. So we're going to say 3 minus 2.5, which is equal to 0.5. So the measure of BF is 0.5. Okay? Well, the measure of AB. Okay, so it says the measure of AB. So when let me redraw this again. Okay? AB. So from A to F, is 2.5, okay? And from B to G is 3. So that means this right in here is overlapping, all right? So this would be, and so we know that this is 0.5. We found that out earlier, all right? So we can say this would be 2.5 minus 0.5. So that would be 2.0, all right? Because you have to take away the part that overlaps. It says find the diameter of a circle that has the circumference of X amount of inches. So it doesn't tell us how many inches. We're going to make something up. So let's say find the diameter of a circle that has a circumference of, let's see. Let's say it's 25.12 inches, okay? So remember, the circumference is equal to pi times diameter, all right? So we're going to plug that in. So we say the circumference is 25.12 is equal to 3.14 times the diameter that we're looking for, all right? So basically all we do here is divide by 3.14, and when we do that, 25.12 divided by 3.14, we end up with 8 is equal to the diameter. So this circle has a diameter of 8. All right, find the radius of a circle that has a circumference of 79.5. So because of the fact that we're given radius, we're going to say circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. All right? Well, so 79.5 is equal to 2 times 3.14 times the radius. If we combine these, 2 times 3.14 is 6.28 times the radius, divided by 6.28, 6.28, so 79.5 divided by 6.28, and we end up with a radius of 12.7, roughly. It's equal to the radius. All right? And then the last thing it asks us to do is to find the circumference of this circle. All right? So in this case, we have a triangle that's inscribed inside the circle. Remember, we have a diameter here. So we're going to say circumference is equal to pi times the diameter. Well, we don't know what this diameter is yet, but we know that this is a right triangle. So we're going to say a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, because this would be c over here. So we have 8 squared plus 6 squared is equal to c squared. So that's 64 plus 36 is equal to c squared. 64 plus 36 is 100. Take the square root of both sides. Okay, and c is equal to 10. Okay, so we know that the length of the diameter is 10. So then we just plug that in. Circumference is equal to 3.14 times 10. When we do that, 3.14 times 10 is equal to, circumference is 31.4 centimeters. Okay, so that does it for this lesson. Make sure that you copy down all of those notes. This lesson has a good bit of notes, but they're all important and you're going to need to refer back to them. So make sure you copy them all down and make sure you ask any questions if you have any, and we'll talk to y'all later on.